Hi everyone, my name is Thom Greene and I'm a VMware Cloud Architect at Rackspace. And today my tech talk is going to be about mentoring and how important it really is to all technologists, no matter your discipline or your skill set. You need to engage in mentoring. It's really one of the most rewarding and valuable technology that you can get involved with. So there's the VMware disclaimer. I want to talk a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Thom Greene, and I've been a Rackspace employee for 3 weeks. I'm extremely excited to be representing Rackspace and to be here. We're doing some amazing stuff. On top of that, I'm also a 2-time vExpert. So I've been a member of the vExpert program for the last 2 years. I'm a vMug leader at Lexington, Kentucky vMug. There's my picture. At our last vMug, it's growing like crazy. And then I'm also a vBrownBag crew member. So I've been very fortunate to host the Wednesday night podcast. If you want some amazing training, join us, vBrownBag.com Wednesday nights. And you can find me on Twitter at TBGREE00. I do a lot of tweeting about funny pictures and VMware in general. So mentoring is a huge topic, and there's a lot that you can pick up from it, and there's a lot of different ways you can go. But before we get started, I want you to take a second and think of someone in your life you consider a mentor. Just pause, think about it. It can be a coach, it can be a teacher, it can be a former coworker, or even a current coworker. Okay, whenever you first thought about that person, I saw some faces change and light up. I want you to remember the feeling that you had the second that you thought about this mentor. Whenever I do this exercise, I always think back to the IT manager at my very first IT job. I started out as an accountant. I wasn't in IT at all, had no IT experience. However, he saw something in me as I was adding realtors' computers to the wireless network whenever they would come back and get a commission check cut as I was their accountant. And whenever an opening came up, he promoted me into the field with no experience. I didn't know AD from a hole in the ground. And he saw something in me and instilled a love of learning and a love of VMware. So I hope everyone has their mentor in their mind and they're thinking about it, so keep that in your back pocket. So I'm going to be talking about what mentoring really is, why we should do it, and how to really get started. It's a big topic, but it's extremely important. So this is a picture of Mentor from the Odyssey. He was really the first mentor that has been written down and talked about, and is the origin of the word. So a mentor is a trainer, a teacher, someone who has helped you in your life and helped you guide. Sometimes when you say mentor, you think of a huge monumental shift in your life. And that's true, but it can also be smaller influences. So as long as someone has had a positive influence in your life, whether it's momentarily they've helped you come up with some sort of career path, they've helped you with a certification, or if it's someone who's really changed the course of your life and you have a good relationship with to this day, it doesn't matter. They're still can be considered mentors in your life. So why do you want to mentor? Why am I up here today talking about mentoring? A thing that I really like to say is that your reality right now as you're sitting in your seats is someone else's dream. And I'm not talking about some sort of weird Matrix sci-fi, if somebody wakes up, we're out of existence. But if you're a help desk person, there's somebody like me who was an accountant who would love to get into help desk. If you're an engineer, there's somebody else who would love to become an engineer. So it's really important to keep a little bit of perspective about where you are. And whenever you start thinking about that perspective, it really kind of even encourages you to give back. It's easy in tech, and I'm very guilty of this, to always just be looking forward. As soon as you pass a test, you're thinking about what's the next test. As soon as you give one talk, you're thinking about the next talk. You're always wanting to move forward in your career. Sometimes it's good to get a dose of perspective by just turning around and looking where you've come. You can get really down on yourself if you're stagnating in your role. But when you turn back and look, you can see all of the old frustrations, all of the old hills, and the path that you've treaded through that. I can guarantee you there's somebody that you know or can be connected with who's on that same path and would love to have some guidance to get on a trail similar to where you're at. That dose of perspective is very humbling. Whenever you're talking to people, they're going to ask you stuff that you don't know or you don't remember. A skill that I've been working on in early gathering is the ability to say, I don't know. It's really easy for somebody to ask you a obscure ESXi question that you think you know. You can be heavily certified. You can be working with this for 10 years. But somebody can ask you a question and you just don't know the answer. And that's fine. Being a mentor does not mean that you are the end-all be-all. It just means that you have a relationship with someone and you're both learning together. It's amazing to see how this comes together. And whenever you're working with this person, you become great friends. It's not just a teaching relationship every time. It's not just somebody's coming and saying, hey, I want to take this certification, can you help me? That happens too, but a lot of times you celebrate new children, you celebrate promotions, and it's very gratifying on a personal level. So if you want to get started, you can check and see if your employer's HR or enablement programs have a mentoring program. You can go and you can say, hey, I want to mentor someone, I want to help somebody, and they can match you up. And even if that doesn't happen, if you're in a smaller employer or they don't have that, look around and see if you notice any coworkers who are itching to do more. It's hard to bust out of silos, but if someone reaches across a silo and tries to help someone else, everyone wins. If nothing else, that person is more knowledgeable about your domain, you're more knowledgeable about their domain, and it's just a better work environment as a whole. User groups are fantastic. As I said, I'm the Louisville VMUG, or Lexington VMUG user group leader. You threw me off, sir, with your Cardinals. I would love to have anybody come up and say, I want to mentor. I would love to start a community mentoring program. If I didn't have that, if somebody didn't come up and say that, there's no way that our community can flourish. Check with your VMUG leaders if they have anything. If you're not comfortable doing it face-to-face, go online. The VMTN forums have questions out there that have been dead for years that maybe you've seen. Everybody's done the little search and said, I've got this problem, and then there's somebody with the same problem, but there's no solution. Maybe you can help give solutions to those problems. I started my journey on tech exams forums, helping with certifications. I would write a certification guide as I accomplished them. I would reach out to other people about their certification guides. That's a great way to get started. And I have some friends, I've been friends with them for 8 or 9 years, and I just met them last year, but we've been friends online just from this. If you're not interested in career mentoring, you don't necessarily want to help somebody get into tech, you can still mentor in your local community, getting involved in church mentoring programs or big brothers and big sisters. Different types of career counseling for people who are looking to get into a tech. I used to do mock interviews and help people at an ITT Tech. They would come to me, they would ask, we would do some peer mentoring and some interview skills. Mentoring.org has a lot of how do you mentor, what you should expect, and then there's also a matching tool. So let's go back to that initial exercise. I warned you that it was going to be coming back up. That person that you thought about, reach out to them. Send them a text message, send them an email, or go and talk to them. Say, I was thinking about you, and thank you for helping me get where I am today. Every time I do this talk, I always reach out and tell Brandon, my mentor, thank you again. He gave me a chance and took a risk hiring somebody who had no idea. So please do that. And also try to mentor. If you're feeling inclined, just reach out to someone in your community or in your work and do some mentoring. So please just do that. Thank you.